So today I'm going to do a quick video on painful menstrual cramps and what I personally did to overcome those. Doing this video because I know a lot of women and girls struggle with this. I know I struggled with this myself. So I'm hoping that this will be helpful to someone out there. Just a quick disclaimer, of course, I'm not a medical doctor. However, I'm just sharing my personal experience, so please don't take this as medical advice. And if you have particularly, severe conditions where you have fibroids or cancer or anything like that, of course you want to see your healthcare physician. But other than that, let's begin. So I just wanted to talk first about my personal experiences with painful menstrual cramps. I ended up having them pretty severely for most of all the time since I've started. And it's, been a very difficult experience. To describe what it feels like, to me anyway, it feels like a knife in my uterus that is basically twisting. And it tends to be a pain that radiates from my ribs down to my feet, essentially. And some people may be able to, relate to this. And of course, it doesn't localize in one area, it just goes around my body. So that's what I've experienced, and it got to the point where I would, black out or pass out, however you want to explain it. But I actually looked forward to that because then I would be out of pain, and when I would come to eventually, I just would not necessarily feel that same pain that I did before. Sometimes the drugs that I was taking weren't helping me at all. I went to doctors and they weren't quite sure what's wrong. But they did recommend certain things, which I personally didn't want to do because I prefer not to be on drug medication. That's not to say that I didn't take it. Actually, I would say that I would take maybe 4 to 6 during the first 2 days. But I realized I didn't want to live like that. I didn't want to always have to depend on, blacking out to feel better. I didn't want to have to depend on taking all these, drug medications, which of course gets rid of the pain, but there are also other side effects as well. And I kind of wanted to find another way to deal with the pain. So I just wanted to talk about 5 different ways that I have been dealing with the pain to the point where actually just very recently, I would say within the past month or 2, I haven't had to take 1 pill. So it's been working for me, and I hope that this will help you as well if you are dealing with this. So the first way that I personally dealt with it is changing my diet. So some of you know that I am plant-based. I avoid animal products to the best of my ability. And so one of the ways that I knew that this would help is that I was actually speaking to a young lady who also experienced bad period cramps, and she said what ended up helping her was going plant-based, avoiding animal products. And so I was thinking, hey, maybe that would work for me. Of course, there are other reasons why I did end up going plant-based, including my personal care for the animals, as well as religious reasons. But this definitely was a main driver for me because I was frustrated with having to leave school all the time. And I was frustrated with having to looking forward to passing out as a method to avoid the pain. And so I ended up doing that, and I did notice that there was, a change in, the amount of pain that I would experience. So my personal recommendation would be to try to make sure that you include fiber in your diet, including fruits, nuts, vegetables, whole grains, and also, other healthy products, trying to either avoid or eliminate animal products because one of the reasons why you may want to consider this is because a lot of the animal products today have hormones and antibiotics, and that can make period pain more severe. So you might want to consider that. And even, let's say, if you choose not to eliminate or don't decrease, you might want to consider finding animal products that do not contain, hormones, probably going to an organic market where they don't add any hormones or antibiotics or any other products that might make your period cramps more severe. Let me see. The second one I would say is to exercise. So for me, that has helped a lot. And one of the reasons why is because exercise increases endorphins. So that is basically a hormone that helps to make you happy, and that also acts as a pain reliever. So it increases endorphins. It allows more oxygen to flow to your uterus. And also, in general, it helps to promote circulation as well, because cramping can decrease or I don't want to say eliminate, but decrease circulation. So when you exercise, that helps to increase your circulation, which therefore helps to decrease the amount of cramps that you're experiencing. Being temperate, I would say, is number 3, because sometimes it's not just about what we're eating, but the way we're eating. So overeating can contribute to this, or perhaps undereating as well. So you want to make sure that you consume 2 to 3 meals a day. And of course, you can adjust this based off of your personal and physical needs. You want to make sure that you're not eating too much. Eating between meals helps to impede digestion, and you don't want to do that. So making sure that you're having evenly spaced meals. You might want to consider intermittent fasting. So intermittent fasting is basically making sure all of your meals are taken between 8 hours. So for example, let's say if you eat between 10 and 6 or 8 and 4 or something like that, and making sure that you have enough time to make sure that your meals are digested before you go to sleep. So maybe around 5 hours before you go to bed, making sure that you have your last meal, so then when you go to sleep, you can have better sleep and, of course, have better digestion as well. So trying to do that, because I noticed when my digestion was not good, that tends to make my cramps more severe. And I also wanted to add sugar consumption as well, making sure that you are careful not to consume too many refined carbohydrates, white sugars, white flours, things like that, because that can lead to inflammation, and unfortunately inflammation does lead to more severe cramps. So you want to make sure that you have a diet that is anti-inflammatory. Let me see, what else? Am I forgetting anything? Changing your diet, exercise, water, yes. Making sure you're properly hydrated. One of the things, of course, when you're going through menstruation, you're losing blood, right? So you want to make sure that you are consuming enough water. One rule of thumb is half your body weight in ounces, but you might need more or less depending on your body. So make sure to listen to your body. Don't, just follow my advice or anything like that. Make sure, of course, you look into it and do what is working for your body. And also, I wanted to bring out the point that some people believe that pure water is not necessarily the best when you're having cramps. You should actually consider a drink that has electrolytes in it. So you might want to consider adding salt, Himalayan sea salt, to your water, because it's a healthy way to incorporate electrolytes into your system, which does make sense because as some of you may know, your body, although it's made up of water, it's not pure water, right? You have ions in your cells. And so this helps to, of course, replace those ions you might be losing through, the menstrual process. So yeah, you may want to consider either that, the pure water or the electrolyte filled water. It really just depends on your personal condition. And the last thing I want to talk about is perhaps considering 2 different types of herbal supplements. So I noticed that this helped me a lot when I was experiencing cramps recently, and I just want to show you quickly what they look like. So let me see if I can get it in the camera. So if you can see it, this is called AIM Barley Life. It's one of the supplements that I've been taking recently. And this is called Herbal Fiber Blend. So this is another supplement that I've been taking recently. And it's pretty important that at least you consider it. And the reason why I say that is because these supplements, and I'll just give you my personal testimony on this as well. When I was experiencing cramps and I drank it, what was interesting is that it actually went away pretty quickly. And I think there's a mixture of reasons for this. One, because I drank a large volume of fluid with it, which of course helps to mitigate cramps, but also because they have certain herbs in it, which helps to reduce inflammation as well. So this is something that you may want to consider because there are different types of herbal supplements that can help. And you know, I don't really know your personal health condition, but this might be something that you may want to consider if you have, you know, for example, been taking, you know, a lot of different pills, or not a lot of different pills. I took one type, but you know, a lot of pills like I was, and you want to consider maybe a more natural approach. And there are different types of herbs that also can lead to, I would say, the relief of menstrual cramps to make them more bearable. They may not, you know, go away completely, but you know, you don't have to suffer and, you know, be in pain. And like for me, I had to even go to the hospital once. You don't want to have to continue to do that and dread, you know, your menstrual cycle every month. There are other ways that you can deal with it that can help you to, you know, lead that life more productively and not have to worry about this every month. So I do hope that has been helpful to you, and I'll see you in the next video.